BASE is not only a controller for live audio, it is also an ideal instrument for performing with visuals. In this example, I'm going to show you how to use BASE with Arkaos' Grand VJ. In my Arkaos BASE setup, I have the left 16 pads controlling visuals and the right 16 pads controlling effects. In Arkaos, you can use up to 8 layers at a time. In my project, these visuals are in the first 4 layers and the effects in the remaining 4. To select a layer, I use the buttons above the touch faders, and I can change the visuals by pressing any of these 16 pads. The nice thing about the BASE pads is that they are designed for playability, so it's easy to scroll between visuals with your fingers, and the spacing allows you to rapidly tap between the visuals. I can add additional layers of visuals and adjust the layer opacity of each using the touch fader, and mix multiple layers together at the same time. I can use the effects side of my setup to select an effects layer and trigger an effect with one of the 12 pads I have assigned to effects. I utilize the velocity sensitivity of my pads on the base to control the effects. In this example, I'm using the top 4 pads on the effects side to control the parameters by applying different pressure to the pads with my fingers. As you can see, I'm controlling the parameters of the tunnel effect by adjusting the amount of pressure I use. With this method, I can get really expressive with my effects. Each effect has different parameters that I can perform with and manipulate. I can also layer and mix multiple effects by adjusting the opacity of the effects layers using the touch faders. This allows me to create very unique looks by layering and adjusting effects. The function buttons on the right side of the base allow me to kill any effect that are active, and the LEDs indicate the on or off state of each effects layer. This setup is all done with MIDI Learn. There isn't any scripting or templates needed. The base is also totally customizable, so I can change any assignment on the controller. I use the base editor to customize some of the settings from my Arkaos setup. For the 16 pads I use to trigger visuals, I disabled the velocity by turning off the CC messages and enabled note on and off messages to be sent. For the effects pads, I turned off note messages and enabled velocity so they can react to pressure. I also did some custom color changes for the effects pads to separate them visually. The editor gives you access to the colors of the pads so you can create your own custom setup. This setup just scratches the surface for the endless possibilities of the base, not only for controlling live visuals, but for controlling any software that supports MIDI.